November 10th meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of July 14th and July 21st. Did anybody get a chance to look at those?
Motion to defer the minutes.
Second?
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item A under correspondence, we have a bid opening for Beach Avenue, 176th Place to 174th Street. We have two bids. First bid is from Hawk Enterprises, 1850 East North Street, Crown Point, Indiana. Did you bring the, thank you.
This is the item.
You have their non-inclusion affidavit. They have their bid bond, and they have their Form 96. Their bid is $165,997.40. Next bid is from Midwestern Electric Incorporated, 1620 East Chicago Avenue, East Chicago, Indiana. They have their bid bond. They have their Form 96. They have their non-inclusion affidavit signed. Their bid is $152,987.74. Do I have a motion to refer these to the consultant engineer for tabulation and recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item B, bid opening, Second District Street Lighting Project, Doty, Homan to Lyman, Summer, Maywood to Columbia, Atlas, Chestnut to Walnut, Michigan, Roosevelt to Beale, and Thornton Street to Fayette. We have two bids. First bid is from Hawk Enterprises. They have their bid bond. They have their Form 96. And they have their non-inclusion affidavit signed. Their bid is $276,332.25. Next bid is from Midwestern Electric. They have their bid bond. They have their non-inclusion affidavit and their Form 96. And their bid is $254,409.90. Do I have a motion to refer these to the consultant engineer for tabulation and recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. I'd like to recognize Janet Venez from the Hammond City Council. Item C, correspondence received from Primera Engineers Limited advising of substantial completion of the work for the NDOT bridge painting contract with the exception of nighttime temporary lane closures to complete prismatic reflectors on the westbound side. And that's for informational purposes only. Item D, correspondence received from the City Engineer Dean Button advising of CSX detour for Holman Avenue Rail Crossing, which is going to start over this weekend on Saturday or Sunday. They're going to set up the detour. Yeah, it's for 2 weeks. And they're going to set up the detour is going to be Sheffield Avenue and Calumet Avenue with Goslin and Chicago Avenue as the streets to get over. And they're going to change the, they're going to have a temporary entrance into the South Shore parking lot on Johnson from the south. So do I have a motion approving the closure?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Next, we have correspondence from Nice Engineering requesting permission to use the alley at 5535 State Line Avenue and Doty Street as an entrance to an off-street parking lot and also widening of the alleyway to create two-way in and out of the parking lot area. I took a look at this, and so has the engineering department, and I think everything looks okay. Do I have a motion approving this traffic change? Oh, is there a question?
One additional thing that we were talking about on that project, the current owners own a store, or don't own a store, lease a store down the street, and they're going to build a 3-unit strip center on this parcel, which
Right.
we're all behind and we're all in favor. In order to facilitate them, they would like to put a temporary trailer up on the lot that would be both their office and would serve for retail sales. And that's not really covered in the zoning. We can do construction trailers, but not a temporary retail trailer. So I spoke it over with Don Novak, who's not opposed to it, and with Mark McLaughlin, ran it by Phil Talon. Mark suggested that would be a good idea to allow them to put the trailer on the lot, but under very strict conditions. And I would require handicap accessibility, obviously. Dean Button chimed in on wanting to have proper drainage, which is being established. And we wanted to allow it for only a 180-day period. We don't want to be stuck with it forever. And we just wanted everybody to know that if it's allowed, that at the end of 180 days, we have the right to go remove the trailer. And actually bringing that part of it before the Board of Works was suggested by Chris. So it was the widening of the alley and the allowing of I think it's a 20-foot by 40-foot temporary trailer for retail sales.
I could see some issues with that.
We all can see some. We think the benefits outweigh the disadvantages, but that's your decision and what you think would be allowed. What this would facilitate is there's an existing abandoned building there. And their original thoughts were to remodel the building for the 6-month period and move their retail sales into that building. I looked at the building and it is not possible to remodel. It would cost more to fix it up than to tear it down. So as
They
part
only
of it-
lease, the place where they're at now, they actually lease that, right?
Yes.
They can't get like a 6-month extension?
No. No, they're back there. You probably want to ask them that question. But I'm told, no, that they can't get it. They don't want to lose their existing client base.
Well, I think this is an issue that's gonna have to be handled between you as building commissioner to make sure that, that this meets all the requirements, because handicap accessibility into a trailer is difficult.
Yes.
If you can work something out, that's really kind of a separate issue than the parking lot plan approval and the change to the alley. So probably should, you guys could work with them to be able to work out the trailer situation.
Okay.
And I think we'll just approve the parking lot configuration right now.
But have no objections to them putting a trailer there, providing the rest of
Well,
us
I
are
don't
on
think
board?
we really have much authority over that, because that is
Right.
on private property. It's more your bailiwick to handle that.
Okay. So if something happens, it's my fault, is what you're saying?
No,
Okay.
you just need to make sure that it meets all the current rules that you have to go by.
I can do a lot, I can't give them permission to put something there, but as long as you're not objecting to it, then I'm not objecting to it, and we'll work something out.
Okay. So do we have a motion approving the alley entrance and parking lot
So moved.
as proposed? Motion is second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item F. We have correspondence received from AT&T requesting permission to perform work at 1247 169th. And it looks like they're going to be crossing the alley with an underground service. Do you have a motion approving the alley cut?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item G, correspondence received from Corellis Roofing requesting permission to install a pedestrian crossing connecting 1254 169th to 1247 169th. I see some minor issues with this, and I was talking to the city engineer, and I think we need to defer action on this for 1 week and give him an opportunity to work out the crossing situation and make it more standardized to facilities we have in other parts of town. So,
Any action on that then?
yeah, so do I have a motion to defer?
Yeah, I'll motion to defer action until further review can be done by the city engineer.
Second.
Motion and second, questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item H, disposal authorization for Hammond Police Department.
Motion to approve the disposals?
Second.
Motion and second, questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item I, hearing on property located at 701 and 705 Kane Street.
Good morning, I'm Gary Matthews, I represent the owner, Albert Anita. Her husband bought these two residential units, using them as duplexes, 2 units, each property. That's come into question by agreement. 701 is being converted back to a single family, and 705 Kane is going to be compliant in order to have a 2-unit dwelling there, first floor and second floor. We hope to have a final inspection this past week. The inspector found that there was a few things that still needed to be done before they would finalize the approval for using it as a 2-unit at 705 and 1 or 2 things to the 701. And so he's made a list of those things. Homeowners agreeable to doing those things. I think if we put it on the agenda for sometime in December, whichever, you know the extent of the work that has to be done.
Yeah, I'd say probably 60 days. There's, not only is it because of the work that needs to be done, but she needs to get contractors to do these kind of stuff, so, on their schedule. Holiday, 60 days, includes January.
Sure about the 60 days, or is that a calculated guess, or what? Because it put us into 17.
Right.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, we're gonna, she has been making progress, and, so we'll give her that amount of time.
All right, set this for status on January 5th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item J, rental registration hearing on property located at 435 Cherry. Richard Kroll. Are you Richard Kroll?
We purchased that property, 435 Cherry Street, at the end of 2014. It led the lot one, or the unit one, was unoccupied for basically a year and a half, and now we got renters in there. So I applied for the rental registration, and then they came back and said about, I had to come to this hearing to appeal the 2015 rental registration because it was unoccupied at the time. So that's what I'm looking for, is to get the rental registration.
When did you have a tenant move into that unit?
The tenants moved in on August 1st, and I applied for the rental registration August 5th, and then I got a letter back that says that I needed to schedule a hearing
Okay.
to appeal the 2015/2016 appeal since it was unoccupied.
And there was nobody in it at all during
Correct.
2015?
Correct.
Do we have any records on that?
This is 2 units, correct?
It is 2 units. The front unit was unoccupied.
Okay, so the
Okay.
second unit,
The second unit was occupied. It's a friend of ours. He was not paying rent at the time, but I'm also want to apply for rental registration on that one as well.
when did your friend move in?
He was moved in prior to us purchasing that.
So he's been in that, one of the units
Correct.
the entire time?
Correct,
And you've not been charging him rent the entire time?
correct.
Okay.
But I do want to I want to be in compliance and register both.
It's important for, I believe the board already understands, but just don't understand it. The registration information is vital to first responders, police, fire, and then for us, so we know who is actually at the property, who's supposed to be at the property. In case somebody gets removed or in case there's a fire, needs to contact. So registration, just because you're not making money on it, but honestly, that's who you and the tenant,
Right.
and what we're doing. Registration is the process, so we have information that can be vital for us, especially in emergency
Yeah.
situations.
And I totally respect that. That's the reason that I'm here, and I filled them out for both.
You have
units.
properties in here?
That's the only one. Correct.
Any issues with the property? Kelly, are we gonna have him file the affidavit for the friend, or does he need to register that regularly? Okay, it's only family, okay. Okay, we'll make a motion to waive the late fees. You do need to register now both properties.
Yes.
For 2016, and also the unit that was occupied for 2015, at a rate of $5 each per year, okay? So if you want to stick around after the meeting, you can handle that today.
Okay, very good. Should I just stick around?
Yes, go ahead and have a seat.
Thanks a lot.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Motion passes. Item K, correspondence received requesting rental registration hearings. December 8th.
What day did you want?
December 8th.
Okay, motion to set these for December 8th.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item L, order to rescind order of demolition property at 4248 Wabash, and is 4246 the same property owner?
It's the same property owner. It's 2 properties located on one lot, a front house and a back house. The first one is owner occupied, the second one is a rental. These were both under order of demolition. They've both been rehabilitated, and I would just ask that we rescind the order to demolish. And I was told he didn't post a cashier's check, he posted a bond. So I indicated in there to release the bond.
Okay. Make a motion to rescind the order to demolish and to release the bond.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item M, notice of violation hearing on property located at 2408 White Oak Avenue. Oh, that's L. We're done with that
Yeah.
one.
This is currently a two-unit property which has a basement apartment. The apartment in the basement was not permitted to be installed, nor does it have adequate fire separation or ceiling height. The owner is willing to cooperate with the removal. He purchased the property with the intentions to occupy it as a single-family home. So I just ask that the board affirm the removal of the basement apartment.
Motion to confirm the order?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
Item N, notice of violation hearing on property located at 4422 Cameron.
This is a property which has a illegal non-conforming second floor apartment. The owner has explained that he will be hiring the contractors to perform the removal. There were no permits pulled to install the second floor apartment. There is no adequate fire separation between the two units. No electrical or plumbing permits were pulled to install the electrical or plumbing services for the second floor apartment. So we ask that the board affirm the removal of this second floor apartment. The owner has already contracted a licensed contractor to perform the conversion and bring this property back to a single-family home.
Motion to affirm the order?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Against, motion passes. Item O, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 7345 Chestnut and 7450 Southeastern.
These might actually both be extensions, or at least one of them is an extension of a previously entered order. Just giving them a little bit more time. Work is progressing, but they do need a little bit more time.
These are both the same property owner?
No, these
Oh.
are two different property owners, but I believe one is an extension and not a new agreement.
Okay.
Motion to approve the extension and the new rehab agreement?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item P, correspondence received from the Gene Shepherd Community Center requesting JF Mahoney Drive become a one-way traveling east on Saturday, November 19th from 8 to 3 for the indoor garage sale. We do this every year, so do I have a recommendation to approve the traffic change?
Motion to approve the traffic change?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item Q, correspondence received from HC3 Board of Directors for the Live in Neville Fest requesting permission to hold the event on June 9th, 2017. Boy, they're getting ready early. Through June 11th on Kennedy Avenue, north of the train tracks on 169th to 165th. Use of barriers, street closure, signage placement at 3 locations, and to hold lighted motorcycle parade on June 10th. Yeah, this is becoming an annual event, so Gary knows what to do to work with them. We're doing anything major in changes. Looks like it's basically the same as previous ones.
Do we need to send this to Gary now or have this sent to him closer to the event so that they don't
They'll
forget?
probably forget about it, yeah.
Yeah. Gary, though? No, that's what I mean, to send it to them or request that they,
Well, Gary's probably wants to be in a motorcycle parade,
okay.
so, so he's not gonna miss it.
All right, we'll make a motion to approve and refer this to the street department for review.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have any matters from other board members? I have one.
Oh,
What?
okay,
Huh? You're not gonna forget?
all right.
Are you gonna be in the parade? Yes. Okay, that's what I figured. This is a bid recommendation. Hammond Inspections Department has reviewed the bids, which were open at the Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety on November 3rd. Find the lowest responsive and responsible bidders to be RSR Demolition for $9,550 for 1222 through 2475th Street. JM Industrial Incorporated for $12,600 for 1234 175th Street. and Acton Contracting LLC for 7520 to 22 Linden Avenue for $6,130. Do I have a motion approving these recommendations?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Do we have any other matters from other board members? Matters from other department heads or their representatives? New business? Old business? Meeting's open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to step up? Mr. Boston.
Good morning, Board. I'm here to address the hearing that we have coming up next week. You all, I feel like this is like the last election. We're finally going to get to a decision on this and have the hearing that we waited for. We have a motion before you. I had a petition before you for a decision on setting the order of the remand, which is of next week. The reason, and the motion is basically, what is the process on remand, okay? And the reason I address this in a motion to you on July 21st is, again, because of the concern of our witness who has traveled up here a couple of times to testify and has not been able to. So the importance of setting this agenda is basically to do an efficient use of time so we can be appropriately courteous to a state official coming up here to testify. The issue is, again, where will the hearing pick up from the judge's order on remand? The city's position has been it's a do-over, which obviously has certain connotations that I might not agree with, but the issue is the motion before the board was, or the appeal that is remanded back to the board is on the violation of our constitutional rights to confront our witnesses and to present our own side. So our position has been, and it was presented to you on July 21st, is that upon remand, the meeting will pick up at the conclusion of the city's presentation, which they did on the May 14th, 2015. That would mean that the meeting would then pick up with my cross-examination of the city's witness from back then presentation of my case, and then, of course, the city would have a chance to cross-examine our case and to offer rebuttal. So that is basically the motion I had before you July 21st. It's important to us that we hear about that now because if you agree with us, that's great, because then we can tell our witness when to come up and that he would be, you know, heard promptly after our cross-examination of Mr. Kearney. If not, then we could have all sorts of, I don't know how long the city's case is going to be in our cross-examination of other issues that they may bring up. So again, I'm asking the board to rule on what is going to be the process upon the remand. Will we start with our cross-examination, which is what we read the case law as indicating? Or, you know, how will the proceeding start? If the proceeding doesn't start the way that we've presented it to you and we've requested you to rule as per what we review as case law, then we can have assurance when we talk to our witness, you're going to drive up here 3 hours and you will be heard. If not, then we run the risk of, again, having a witness travel great distance. Yes, Chief?
Is it possible, and I would defer to the city attorney, yourself, and the board members here, is it possible if a state official comes up next on the 17th, which is a hearing date, can we hear what he has to say? You get all your questions out to him and be done with him? Is that possible?
Well, yes, and that's frankly what I asked to have happen on
I think we actually already took action on this motion in the past, and that we said we were going to rehear the entire case before us because 2/3 of the board are new. So we're not familiar with the details at this point, and to jump in somewhat in the middle, I think that we've already addressed this point and said that the witness should come. At the last time he was here, he had made no indication that it would be an issue for him to be here for the entire process to us.
So I just want clarification. So your position has been, then your position is the hearing will start the city's presentation of its case?
I believe that's what we,
Well,
I just want to clarify something. First of all, we have an agenda. Every week we have an agenda. This isn't on the agenda. Had it been on the agenda, we would have had John McCrum or Kevin McNamara here to argue it. We continuously have people showing up on the public expression and trying to have a hearing before the hearing. Had we wished to address this matter, it could have been placed on the agenda. We could have had counsel here. When I attempt to argue with the objects, and I was a third lawyer in it, so I had Kevin and John here last week for the
John,
hearing.
just John.
John for the hearing, and this didn't come up. So why couldn't this been addressed then? This is just another, I'm gonna bring it up under public expression, I'm gonna try to have another motion, and then I'm gonna try to hold the board to whatever comments they've made on this. If this is an issue that can be raised with notice, with being on the agenda, with the hearing, and with John or Kevin here. They could have done this last week when they were there, we could have put this on the agenda, so I could have had them here. The board has already made its decision that we're gonna start from scratch, but what he's trying to do is trying to get you to say something else, trying to get you to do something else, trying to make an inconsistent ruling, and we're not going to have it here. If this had been on the agenda, we could have had a proper discussion on it. We're gonna move forward with the 17th, as it was discussed last week when the attorneys on this matter were present. Had there been some issues that needed to be addressed, it should have been addressed last week.
I believe it was addressed last week.
Well, then we don't need to address it again.
Excuse me. I believe it was addressed last week. I appreciate the clarification. I just wanted a clarification on how we can proceed, so how I can comment with my witness. Now, Chief, to address your concern, and certainly I would say that certainly within the discretion of the board to decide how it wants to conduct the hearing within law, of course. But Chief, to address your concern, I mean, from what I'm hearing, is if the city's gonna start presenting their case,
It's a moot point.
well, okay, that's fine, okay. I appreciate that clarification. I will let you know that, again, my concern has been expressed in the past, but we are about to rush on this hearing. My client had to pay $1,500 expedited fee to get, we did complete the deposition that we had to complete. That prompted Mr. McCrum to agree to delay the hearing from this week to next week. We did rush to complete that, so we are looking forward to the hearing, and I appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to step up to the microphone? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.